of talking.
Here we go. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations Beyond Table 5. I have two guests today that have been begging and clamoring to be on the show. Evidently, they have, I don't know what they have to promote. It's a lot of things. It's their brand. It's their angelicness this close to Christmas. They're both trying to be really good for Santa. They're not even talking right now. I just can't believe it. And you won't either if you know Alison McGowan and Brunty Sonefeld. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are y'all?
We're good. I feel bloated.
Yeah.
Thank God we're on audio and not video.
Yes, true.
Yeah, I'm kind of blurry.
Blurry?
Interesting. And my head feels swollen.
All right,
But John said the microphone does not add pounds like a camera would.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best part.
So you can't see your bloated head. All right, ladies. So we're calling this the holiday edition. I don't know if I said that already, but this is the holiday edition of the world famous podcast.
How many followers do you have? How many listeners? 5?
I can't even.
And
I
we're
can't.
2.
Well, actually, you're both here, so I don't know who will listen to this.
Us.
What are we saying? What are some things for the holiday? I think we talked about discussing things that either mistakes we made at Thanksgiving, since we're right after Thanksgiving, and that we won't repeat at Christmas. Those are good. There are lots of things that come up during the holidays. They come up every year for people. I think everyone can relate. There's, the overeating. There's the over shopping, the feeling lack. There's the comparing. In a certain 12-step fellowship I go to, it's, if you compare is to despair. And I think that happens a lot with people during the holidays. Expectations are a big one in that same 12-step fellowship. It says expectations are resentments under construction. Because if we have expectations of people, places, or things, inevitably it's not going to turn out the way we expected. And then we're going to resent people, places, or things. So what do we have to say about that? Laura, why don't you open us up here?
Well, as your sister...
Correct.
Could I give you a fake name when I'm discussing you? For maybe past holiday resentment.
This is about thieves of joy. Why would you even bring me up?
Right. Well, we did not say the thieves of joy part, but I think that is a very good thing, that resentments and, comparisons are thieves of joy. And when we are supposed to be, it's practically shoved down our throats that this is a joyous time. I think really thinking about what does steal our joy. And for me, it is the bloated feeling, for one. But then what does that make me think of? Of greed. And so the greed, I believe we all talked about the second plate mentality.
Yeah.
First as well. And how we will eat. And, as a true addict, for me, I know that if I'm struggling with anything, if someone has frustrated me, if I don't feel like I have the perfect holiday lineup happening for everyone and everything, I will absolutely eat my way through a tray of cookies.
Is this where I need to confess that I have the bag of Reese's Christmas tree on my bedside table?
Yes, this could be a good confession point.
What a good segue.
Yes, what a good segue. Yeah. I think those went in there, the Monday before Thanksgiving. They were gone in 48 hours, so they're really not there anymore. They're sort of wrappers.
Did a thief get them?
Yeah.
And the irony there is, was it joyous? Did it bring you joy eating it?
No, because y'all know after you're eating it and you're trying to find that consolation, something to make you feel better, it does for 2 seconds, and then the guilt. Why in the hell did I do that? But y'all are talking about thieves of joy. My big thief of joy is myself and the expectations that I have of other people, of the, as all my counseling and stuff has done, is that Norman Rockwell, picture of perfection.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah.
And all the movies that are written during the holiday times, we have to remind ourselves that it says written by. Like somebody else created these moments that are supposed to be perfect.
Yeah. So where did we get in our heads that holidays are supposed to be these picture perfect? Where did it come from? How did it get there?
Retailers love to create the perfect feel-good feeling that buying all their stuff and giving it away, how wonderful it makes you feel. And the food companies, and it's all, these addictions are real. Food addiction is real. Shopping addiction is real, and they're rampant during the holidays. And alcohol addiction. Everybody recovering from alcoholism will tell their first holiday season without drinking. If they got sober in January, the following year is their first holidays without drinking. It's a big memory, and because it's again, it goes back to the expectations. It's supposed to be a great time, and like the saying goes, they become resentments for that reason.
Eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Right.
I think, when we were talking earlier about the second plate mentality, I have, and because I wanted to talk about this because when we were talking about mistakes we made during Thanksgiving that we won't make at Christmas, and hopefully I don't make it again, or hopefully I stop it, because it's not just at holidays. If there's any kind of buffet setting, I will fix a plate that is small, air quotes there around small, and I'll feel like it's small and it's, not much, and sit down and really the whole time I'm eating, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of these flavors. And then I'll go back and get a second plate, and then that's too much. And even though I'm full from the first plate, I go back and get that second one, and it's miserable. The guilt sets in, and the bloated, and just, God, why did I do that? And if I waited an hour in between, then it would not be, I would be too full to go get that second plate.
I get the small plate, fill it, just a little, and then I'm like, oh, well, I really didn't eat that much. I deserve a little more. It is Thanksgiving. So I start justifying it all, start justifying why I deserve all this. And, or it only comes once a year. It's not really going to hurt you for once a year, but it's truly not once a year because
Well, that justification can follow us over anything.
I justify
that
everything.
I deserve justification can apply to many things.
Mm-hmm. And the rationalization
Mm-hmm.
of this only comes this time of year. I can only get this right here.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you compare and despair over?
That in my head, everybody else is having the perfect Christmas, and their children are sitting around the table having great conversation, and everybody's loving being together, and we're playing games, and that's what I think everybody's doing.
And then you turn the channel, or
But I think some families do have that, or are they? I don't know. That's what's always been in my head, that I want that perfect family kind of setting. And so when I don't get it, I'm like, well, what did I do? Or, so that's where I am right now. So
have you ever written out what the perfect family setting would be?
Have I written it out?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's a great exercise to do, is to write out what the perfect family setting would be. And
then I go tell my family, and they're supposed to act
well,
that way as
no,
a script.
it's we're trying to get away from control. We're trying to get away from being controlling, and writing it out and seeing it on paper. Sometimes it'll see, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous that I have that expectation, or it can lead you to many different things. Journaling, it can lead to many different medicines, I feel like. And I think one of them in that exercise would be seeing exactly what you think and how extreme some of the expectations are, how in line they are. It can also be, you're putting it out to the universe, and maybe things line up in certain ways to go along with that. And then, it can easily roll into gratitude for what you have. A lot of times writing it out will go, oh, it's not that bad if you see it in black and white.
Oh, yeah.
And put pen to paper.
Well, I'll do that. Start going in my head, and then everybody kind of leaves. But then I go, well, dang. You hadn't seen one child since March. It's the first time everybody's been together in a year. You got a roof over your head. You got more food. You've been shopping. And then you do have gratitude. So I do go through it in my head.
Just not till they all leave.
Yeah.
Well, and then it's I think the buildup of, I have to do this. I have to get out the tree. I have to. It's all the I have to's, which we really should change that conversation in our head. Even if, sometimes people will say, oh, I've changed that conversation. And I say, I get to. It is my honor. It is my privilege. But in our heads, we're still saying, oh, I have to pull out all the Christmas decorations. And I have to do this. And, and then it makes you not want to do any of it. I feel like there is an element of journaling out. I like that idea of what is our expectation of a perfect holiday scenario. What is our expectation of, the meals that we're eating, and to not eat that, because it is the unmet expectations that drive the alcoholic and the addictive thinking.
What were you saying about the desserts? Will you be repeating dessert eating at Christmas?
Yes.
Yes.
No, because that really did make me feel completely miserable. I had 3 things on my plate. Well, I will say this too. I had 3 things last night thinking, okay, and this is the other addictive thinking. This is going to be my last dessert that I eat before whatever, fill in the blank. And was it delicious? Yes. But did I need it? Nope. No.
Yeah.
Well, and what's so funny is when I think about giving up drinking, why that was so much easier than considering not eating. And I guess it's because food, you're supposed to eat food. Alcohol is just like a little.
Well, a cop is not going to take you to jail if you have a front seat full of candy bars. If those Reese cups are in the front seat of your car, you're not going to jail.
Right.
You can still drive.
Right.
And you can eat those at 8 a.m. or, 8 at night or whatever.
True.
And it's so, I think even in 12-step meetings, someone mentions a plate of cookies or something like that, and everybody giggles. Because the sugar thing, it's so accepted. It's such a joke. But, it's one of the most real, and I've gone through long periods of giving up sugar, and it is hell. It's way worse than drinking. And I'll tell you, I the longest I've gone was 2.5 years of no sugar, or 2 years, so I can't even remember, but it was quite a while of giving up sugar. And it's been since 2003 since I had a drink. I've never walked into a grocery store since the first day I quit drinking. I never walked in the grocery store and had to go look at the wine or the beer section. And I loved wine or beer. But the whole time that I gave up sugar, you bet your sweet,
cinnamon bun.
I walked and had to touch the cinnamon buns. And I had to walk through the bakery and look at all the cupcakes. And in some of these grocery stores, that shit is awful looking. But I still had to go look at it. I still, into this, now, this is the first place I go is, of course, they've got them right up front. No grocery store is stupid. But I'll pick up and I'll do a round. I'm like, why am I going around this? I'm not going to buy any of this. But I got to look at it. It's like the bread. I got to touch the bread. Another addiction. That's a whole other podcast, too.
I'll be on that one, too. I used to think that I did not have a sweet tooth. And I discovered in rehab that I wasn't eating all the desserts because I was drinking the dessert.
Yeah.
I was drinking the big jug of wine. So I was getting my sugar fix.
Yeah.
So you were feeding two addictions at once.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, true.
I think so much, and for a long time I said I feel like the sugar content in alcohol is the big addiction drug in it, the chemical in it. I look at sugar as a drug and a chemical.
Right.
And, people will say, gosh, you haven't had a drink in years. Don't you think you could have 1 or 2 glasses of wine? I'm like, when I can have 1 or 2 cookies and put them back in the cabinet and not obsess about what's back in the cabinet or, going ahead and finishing off the sleeve of cookies, I'll think maybe I could have another drink, which that's not going to be ever.
No.
Like I'll never think, I can have a couple of drinks. If I have a couple of drinks, it's because there's something really wrong and I'm going to have a lot. But I can't have 2 cookies any more than I could have 2 glasses of wine.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Like you obsess. Like I'm going to get 2, and I put it in the bedside table drawer. I'm not going to get any more of those Christmas tree, peanut butter Christmas trees.
They're real safe right next to you in
Yes.
bed. You're definitely not going to touch those.
Tried to open one while Boo was asleep at night. It's kind of hard, but I know how to do it now. But it is.
It's here we're laughing and it's sugar, but it's a drug.
It is.
It kills.
But
diabetes.
I'm glad to know because sometimes you feel like you're alone. Like you're the only one that's happening to. And that's the best when you know that you're not alone and it's happening to other people. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I've tried to hide it in my car. I've tried to hide it other places. Just like you did with the alcohol. I would, try to hide it and get up and go out to my car at night because I feel like it's calling me. Until it's all gone.
And then the guilt that sets in.
Oh, yeah.
When you've given in to that obsession.
And beat yourself up.
Yeah, that I think is the vicious cycle of it all. And the vicious cycle of addiction in general. Is you feel a lack, then you try to, oh no, I can't. And in that lacking, then you start to rationalize. And you say, I deserve it. I need it. I have it. I bought it. I should just go ahead and eat it.
Yeah.
And then
I would drink all the wine on a Sunday or Saturday night because I wasn't going to drink the next day. Right. So let me just get rid of all of it tonight or today. That way it won't be in my house. How many people do you think would be shocked to hear that you don't have the perfect family Christmas? Like, are there people out there that go, oh my God, I would have thought she did have the perfect family Christmas? I mean, I'm sure you would be quick to shoot them down, but just in general, I mean, you're pretty happy all the time.
I don't know, because if you really know me, then you know that I don't have the perfect. And I guess there are some people out there, but
and when you say perfect Christmas, you're talking about like a Norman Rockwell painting. I mean, that's your version of it.
That's my version of it.
So just in case one of her children becomes the 6th listener of today's podcast. Because one of the things y'all do that I think is a very fun holiday tradition is you get in the car and you drive around and you listen to Christmas songs and you look at people's Christmas lights.
While they're all drinking and I'm driving.
Wow.
That's the only way I can get them in the car is put the cooler in there and some snacks.
Hey,
all right, so it's not the perfect riding around as you think it is.
But it's still fun.
It's a ton of fun.
The fruits don't fall far from the tree. Are there any Reese's in the car?
I don't think so. This was several years ago. Somebody came up to me and said, so tell me all about all your perfect children.
Ooh.
And I mean, that hit a button and ticked me off. And I was like, what makes my children perfect? And they said, because your children are not drinking in high school. And I said, well, I know one's not. I don't know about the other. When somebody says something to me about being perfect or my perfect family, I'm the first to defend it. But at the same time, I have this idea. How does that work?
You have a desire for it.
I have a desire for it, for me, but I don't want other people. Because when people go, "Oh, you're perfect family," to me, that's an insult. They're not. They're not complimenting me at all.
So you think?
I've never heard it, so.
Or what are some comparisons that you find yourself doing that?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I see the outsides of people's houses all decorated, and just like, to me, the perfect little the Christmas wreaths that people somehow can hang on every single window. Like, first of all, how do you even do that? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I get mad that I don't know how to do it. And then the second thing is, it's so pretty to me. But I have to remind myself every single time when I think, oh, I really wish I could do that. I remind myself, I don't want to spend my money like that. Mm-hmm. And I never have been a person who does that. And I am thankful for everyone who does spend their money like that.
That's interesting that you said, I'm like that too. I actually bought all the wreaths and bought the ribbon to do it.
Really?
Yes. But then I was like, I can't do all that. And then the task of trying to do it and make it look good and perfection shuts me down.
Yes.
And then I just donated them all to Goodwill.
Right. Perfection shuts us down.
But I spent the money. You didn't spend the money.
Oh, yeah, well.
Perfection, the things that perfection or perfectionism causes, and there's just no such thing as perfect. Like if anything were perfect, we wouldn't keep that drive. But damn, is that hard to remember?
Yeah, it really is.
It reminds me of combing my hair in the 8th grade. It just could not. It just was not going to be perfect.
We were also late for high school all the time because this man was trying to comb his hair.
I mean, I don't know what I was trying to get done, but anyway.
I wish I'd have known y'all in high school.
Oh, it was a blast.
Oh my God.
Talk about the perfect family. We were the perfect family.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, where I'll sit there and think that, oh my gosh, every other mother has the presents wrapped, or father. I shouldn't be excluding.
It's always all the mother. That's another thing that
that's very
gets me
true.
going.
That's very true.
I
just feel like it's so much pressure. The whole holiday season is so much pressure. And a lot of people, you have your traditions that maybe you've had from your grandparents. Like in our family, the tradition is cookies from our grandmother, like hello, food and sugar. Mm-hmm. But so many traditions that you want to carry on. And I mean, you're just lugging around this burden practically, unless it is joyous for you. Like it is truly joyous for me to make the cookies. That's fun. But when it's a burden, if it's ever a burden, I have to say, I really can't do that because I've got to do this where I'm not, again, saying I have to do this thing. And you also can't just be having fun every single minute of the day, because
the stress of carrying out a tradition is crazy. Like of
right?
making the tradition happen. Just
like
the stress of, we've got to get a picture of that. That'll take an hour to wrangle up people. And that's,
right.
That's very.
But when that joy is not met,
right?
Let's say, that's when you go to the overeating. That's when all the addictions. Now I could care less about ever having another drink again in my life, but certainly.
Well, it's any addiction or addictive behavior. They're coping mechanisms,
right?
Yes,
and that it's filling a void. And the sugar and the cookies and and it is the sugar cookies tradition and that's a memory from youth and who knows what we're missing from youth and and it can all interlap. But I think for me the biggest thing about Christmas that I think we all get wrong are the expectations. And they're just expectations or resentments under construction waiting to happen because that's that's how they're going to turn out. It's it's the biggest guarantee out there, is that if I expect something from a person, place, or thing, it's going to not happen the way I want it, and I'm going to resent it. And I think it's amazing during the season and all that people don't see it. Like, and when I'm in it, I don't see it. I don't stand over those cookies where they're Mimi Duck cookies, and I go, oh my God, those look so good. I remember when I was 7 and loving these, and and I just want to eat the whole tray. And if I have one and go watch TV and talk to somebody, I'm going to be thinking about having another one. It's like it's on my mind in the conversation. The same way when I was in a bar and I didn't have a drink and someone came up and talked to me, all I could think about was inching over to the bartender to get another drink.
Right.
It's that whole thing. Damn these addictions. Damn.
So if we don't have all the expectations, and that we know, that may lead to a lot of disappointment, then you hit to that coping skill, that we all used to do, the drinking, and now we do other things to cope with it. So it's a vicious circle.
Yeah. Oh, it is. And it's at some point, I feel like in order for me to have my sanity during the holidays, if I find myself starting to have like the tape going in my head, like if there's any pity party that's about to start, if I'm ready to text either one of you two to say something about, is there pity party invitation? Are there pity party invitations out there in the world? Like, who makes them, or something to make it funny and laughable? That's when I know I have to stop and figure out where I am in that circle, in the cycle. Where am I? And I have to break the cycle. There's no sense of, hopefully I haven't gotten all the way back around to the circle, but
well, that's the best part, because when you're in that circle, we do have a community that we can go to, or friends that we can say, okay, somebody do the Scarlet O'Hara and slap me and bring me back to reality.
Right. Because I'll get depressed. I will get very sad if I feel like I cannot complete a certain task or do a thing or whatever. If I can't do all the stuff, if I don't have the perfect Christmas card or the things addressed or this or that, I get very down about myself, about like just life. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for all this to be over. And then, wait, I don't, that's one of my like definite stops, where I know if that thought comes to my brain, I can't wait for all this to be over. That's when I know I have to just stop doing whatever it is and, get back to, let's get back to the normal. Yeah, let's just reset.
Hopefully this thinking will come into my mind before I get that second plate. Like, oh, don't do this. Because, a lot of this it's in the moment of remembering it, which, but recognizing what's putting us there and all that. I think I've never really thought about the second plate but in doing this, I was driving back yesterday and I'm like, what is that second plate about? And then I'm like, it's not just Thanksgiving. It's a dinner at your house with I'll just get a few things, or what some would consider big, and then what I consider small, and then there's the reward thing. So you buy presents to like equal up, size up.
I mean, of course, when I'm buying a present, like for the kids, I want them all to, love and adore me and worship me. That's kind of a joke. But when you're buying the presents, there is this element, even if it's, if you're doing a Secret Santa, or if you're doing like an angel tree, an anonymous gift, I guess would be a better. I have a picture that, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much joy. No, it's not. No, stop it. Like, you are buying a gift for a person to show them that you're thinking of them and caring for them. Now, I'm not a person who needs gifts. That's just not that's not my love language. That absolutely not. Time, yes, that's what I love. If you're going to come over and just sit and hang out with me, I would much rather you do that than go buy me something and wrap a gift. Because that's just not who I am or where I am. So for me, the shopping thing is very quick I want acceptance. I want to give joy. I want this to be the absolute perfect thing. It's everything. So all my addictions and self-sabotage go into it. And Madeline, one time when she and Mason were in the first grade and they were sitting at the kitchen island and they were doing their list of what they wanted for Christmas. And Mason was right. He said, I want this and I want that. And Madeline said, Mason, Christmas is not about I want. And I thought for a moment, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a sweet story. Yes. She said, it's about I need. And that really is, in essence, it is more about what do you need? Like they're like dream gifts you could give somebody. Like, I want this. But sometimes what we need is actually what we want in disguise.
But we do, I think we fall into what John was talking about, the retailers too, that we want to buy at least that one wow gift, that one gift that everybody wants. I guess it just goes back into that magical. It's supposed to be magical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then that's where it sneaks in. There it goes.
And then I spiral all over again.
Uh-huh.
But you're not going to. What action can we take from this conversation today? You're going to journal about what you see the perfect family Christmas.
Correct.
I am going to, if it's me fixing a plate, I'm not going to get a second plate. When I fix a plate, it's the first plate. I hope it's not like 3 stories tall.
But it'll be one plate.
Yeah, it'll be
baby
one plate.
Steps, John. Baby steps.
Baby steps. One plate, 3 stories tall.
It's a platter.
Yeah. Laura, what's your action you're going to take?
I think for myself, I will. I'll do the thing where you count out like how many cookies. Maybe you slide in or whatever.
Wait, what now?
Like how you cook, like when you're baking cookies, you might eat a few while you're baking them.
Maybe, perhaps.
I said slide them in. See, that's me just trying to make a euphemism for I eat them. I inhale them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I could write down on a sticky note how many I do that for. And because I pride myself on not going back for seconds. Because when I say I had 3 desserts at Thanksgiving, they were all on one plate.
Right.
Because I did not want to be seen going back to the table.
I brought these to share.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I hold the plate really close to me. And then the other thing I think is in my brain, when I start to think I have to do blank, just saying out loud the reverse of that. Or, saying out loud, no, I do not have to. And then say a gratitude version of that sentence. Because I just feel like the gratitude of the whole time should fill in what I am able to do.
Yeah, gratitude keeps us out of self-pity. There's nothing that will keep me out of self-pity more than what I'm grateful for. There's a saying, a grateful alcoholic is a sober alcoholic, because if I'm grateful for what's going on, I'm not drinking over it or commiserating over it. Self-pity, the pour me a drink. It's like pour me some gravy, or pour me
some icing, baby.
Cookies, some what?
Icing.
Yeah.
You want gravy? I want the icing.
Stop. Listen.
We'll
start all this tomorrow. We'll do all this great stuff tomorrow. See, there it is.
There we
and
go.
We're back.
And we're back to where we started.
We haven't done a damn bit of good. Oh, the poor listener. Poor listener. All right, listener.
But we are not necessary examples of this. We're just confessing to let you, one listener, know that you are not alone.
We're comparing what it would be like.
Well, you know what I always say. You know what I tell my children, and I've told you, Laura. He who sets a bad example also serves a useful purpose.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
I'll eat to that.
I'll lick the bowl of icing to that.
Yeah. There we go. All right, listener, your action is to leave a comment about what action you're going to take. Are you going to compare and despair? Are you going to, I don't know, what?
Journal.
Journal. You're going to be grateful.
What thieves of joy are you going to not let steal your joy? I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. And as always, thanks for listening. Please share, rate, and review this wonderful Christmas time episode. Oh, I mean holiday episode.
Holiday
Holiday episode. But anyway.
Yes.
All right. Take care.